You've been praying. You've been waiting. You've been asking God for an answer for months now, maybe even years. And all you've heard back is silence. Not rejection. Not a clear no. Just nothing. And that silence has started to feel like something worse than any answer could be. It's made you question everything. Your faith. Your prayers. Whether God is even listening anymore. But what if I told you that his silence isn't what you think it is? What if it's actually the most important answer he's ever given you? Some of you listening right now have been in a season that doesn't make sense. You did everything right. You prayed. You trusted. You let go of the things God asked you to release. You stepped out in faith when it felt impossible. And you expected something to change. You expected doors to open. You expected clarity. You expected God to meet you halfway and show you the next step. But instead, silence. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. And now you're standing in the same place you were before, wondering what you did wrong. You've asked him 100 times. Asterisk, God, why won't you answer me? Asterisk. Asterisk. What am I supposed to do? Asterisk. Asterisk. Are you even there? Asterisk. And the silence feels heavier every single day. Let me tell you something that might sting at first, but I promise it leads somewhere beautiful. God's silence isn't punishment. It's protection. There are moments in your life when God withholds his voice, not because he's abandoned you, but because he's guarding something you can't see yet. Think about this. When a seed is planted in the ground, it sits in total darkness. No light, no sound, no sign that anything is happening. And if that seed could speak, it would probably cry out, asterisk, God, where are you? Why have you buried me? Why does everything feel so dark? Asterisk. But the gardener knows something the seed doesn't. The darkness isn't the end. It's the beginning. The silence isn't absence. It's preparation. And what's happening beneath the surface is far more important than what the seed can see above it. You are that seed right now. And God's silence? It's not because he's forgotten about you. It's because he's doing something deep within you that requires stillness. Some of you have been praying for a breakthrough, a miracle, a sign that God hasn't given up on you. But here's the truth. The miracle isn't in the answer. The miracle is in the waiting. Because while you've been sitting in this silence, something has been shifting inside of you. You've been learning to trust God when you can't see him. You've been learning to stand when everything feels uncertain. You've been learning that your faith isn't based on what he gives you. It's based on who he is. And that kind of faith can't be built in the noise, can only be built in the silence. Jesus knew this. When he was in the wilderness for 40 days, he didn't hear a single word from heaven. Not one angelic visit. Not one reassurance. Just silence, hunger, and temptation. But that silence wasn't God abandoning him. It was God preparing him. Because what Jesus was about to walk into, the pain, the betrayal, the cross, required a strength that could only be forged in the quiet. And so does what you're about to walk into. God hasn't been silent because he doesn't care. He's been silent because he's been working. While you were crying out for a sign, he was rearranging things you couldn't see. While you were begging for an answer, he was closing doors that would have hurt you and opening ones that will heal you. While you thought he was distant, he was closer than he's ever been, standing between you and every enemy that tried to take you out during this season. Archangel Michael doesn't just fight battles for you. He fights battles you don't even know are happening. And sometimes, God keeps you in the silence because if you knew what he was protecting you from, you'd be too afraid to keep moving forward. So he shields you, he steadies you, he holds you in a place where all you can do is trust him. And that, beloved, is where the real transformation happens. Here's what I need you to understand today. The silence isn't forever. It's just for right now. And when God finally speaks again, and you're going to look back on this season and realize something that will take your breath away. You'll realize that the silence wasn't emptiness. It was intimacy. Because in the silence, you stopped performing for God and started resting in Him. You stopped trying to earn His favor and started trusting His timing. You stopped needing all the answers and started believing that He is the answer. And that shift, that asterisk is what you were waiting for all along. So if you're in the silence right now, don't run from it. Sit in it. Breathe in it. Let it do its work. Because God isn't teaching you to hear His voice louder. He's teaching you to trust His heart deeper. And when you finally hear Him speak again, you won't just hear words. You'll hear destiny. If this message found you today, it wasn't random. God knew you needed to hear this. He knew you were questioning. He knew you were tired. And He wanted you to know, He hasn't forgotten you. He hasn't left you. And He's not done with you yet. The silence is temporary, but what He's building in you, that's eternal. Stay with this message. Let it settle in your spirit. It may be exactly what your soul needed today.